Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 26. Every time I sit down to review this show and I think about how many episodes we are into Season 6, I just don't understand why y'all just didn't split this up. I mean, they went away for a hiatus and everything and then want to come back like, oh, this is still Season 6. No! I just don't understand. Like, who's in charge of that? Because it's given a little bit of incompetence, because I just don't understand how that even makes sense. Why we are 26 episodes into this season when we could have just been like 15 episodes in and then the rest could have been a whole nother season. Anyway, Whitlows stay or Whitlows go. They chose to go. And you know what? We're not mad. We're not upset about it at all. Anyway, Tiffany and baby Ace come strolling in. Stormy facilitates this conversation. Kiki addresses that Carlos King interview. Kiki is cool and calm. You know, she articulates very well, you know, what her grievances were. Tiffany, she made a ill-informed decision about Kiki before getting to know her for herself, before giving her the benefit of doubt, all of that. She sees Kiki going at it with Tisha, and Tiffany just automatically just assumed that how she was treating Tisha, she would somehow do her that way. Tiffany's whole thing was, if I see you mistreating your cousin, I mean, that's family. Like, what you gonna do to me? And Kiki's whole thing is, but do you know what she did to me? Like, this isn't a Kiki's out to get Tisha thing. Tisha and Kiki have a breakdown in the cousinship, and that's their business. That's their thing. And so Kiki's just like, regardless of what you think you know, I would appreciate it if you would get to know me. You know, like, get to know me for yourself before you just decide that I ain't shit. Because, you know, Tiffany gonna go, oh, I hate when this happens. I hate it. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I tried to move down in my notes and it went to the next note. I hate when that happens. And then I gotta really go find my place. Anyway, Kiki and Tiffany end up, you know, squashing whatever beef they had. Tiffany, you know, at first she's a tough one to hold accountable, because she's going to justify it. She's going to go around and around about why she did what she did, why she said what she said, and why it's justified. And no. Her comments about the girl, I mean, about them moving and where they're, and the address matching up and all of that, all of the stuff that she has said in the past, leading up to now, as it relates to Kiki, has been negative. And Kiki's just like, I just don't understand why you always got smoke for me, you know? It is what it is. Like, I really can't drag their conversation out any further than the fact, you know, that they're going to move forward. Tiffany can be accountable to the fact that she didn't give Kiki a chance. You know, she just was straight away, oh, well, I see how you doing, Tisha. I don't fool with those kind of people. Cause she really, you know, was on some elitist, you know, type stuff. She was really, painting a picture like she was above the fray. Like, she's, you know, above Kiki and on a different level. And Kiki's down here and she's here. They're moving forward. Chris drops by Martell's new house. Martell got his shades on. He done had surgery to get rid of the bags under his eyes. So I'm assuming y'all remember when Martell had it was either a confessional. He was filming earlier on, and I was like, something is weird about his face. Something was off about his face. I'm gonna say, because you know that they show us this stuff out of sequence. It's all edited, all of that. And so sometimes we might see something that happened, like out of sequence and all of that. Sometimes it's all out of whack. And I feel like they showed us Martell. They showed us Martell like post surgery, and his face was swollen. Anyway, but it was way before we even knew he was having surgery. So again, they show us out of sequence, and I believe that's what happened. Anyway, Chris is over there to talk to Martell about how he talked to his wife, of course. Martell asks about family dinner, how that went. Chris shares how things went with his daughter Alexis. And speaking of the disrespect, about your conversation with Nell, Martell says that Nell is the one that got disrespectful, and she can get disrespectful at times. And Chris is like, truthful or disrespectful? Martell doubles down. He ain't here for a woman disrespecting a man. He gonna check her. He gonna check any woman disrespecting him. He don't believe in women disrespecting men. I'm just like, he sounds like the first season Martell. So it just means ain't nothing changed about him. He's still very misogynistic, still very, caveman. Chris says, what do you mean that you gonna check her? Like, what you mean you gonna check it? Martell's like, I mean, period. I'm gonna check it, period. I'm not letting no woman disrespect me. Martell didn't appreciate her bringing up his cheating. He feels like, why she going there? She's constantly bringing up my cheating. Everybody want to talk about my cheating, but nobody's talking about Mel's cheating. Nobody talking about Melody Holt cheating. And Chris is like, her name is Melody Rogers. She changed it, remember? And then, of course, now we got to bring that up. Now he upset about that. Oh, yeah, about that. Y'all done chose a side, and that's some bullshit. Chris like, excuse me? It's what? It's what? Martell is crazy. He's crazy. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with Martell, but he's pressed. He's angry. He's upset about this name change. But it's like, you need to get over it. You need to get over it. And don't be around here calling her Melody Holt. Her name is Melody Cherie Rogers. Don't forget it, Baldy. Anyway, Tisha and Kimmy, they go to go do a yoni steam. Kimmy got to get her libido back up, and the ladies say it helps with that. It helps with a lot of things, actually. Tisha asks, can you do this if you think you're pregnant? And the lady's like, you think you're pregnant? I mean, if you think you're pregnant, then no, not, especially not in your, not in the early stages. Tisha got a pregnancy test in her bag. Girl, you could have took the test before you left the house. Trying to have a moment, trying to create some type of situation. Just some type of cliffhanger situation. Girl, anyway. That test came back negative because she is not pregnant. Kimmy was laughing too, like, didn't Marceau got a vasectomy, girl? What you? But I've been sick. I threw up today. I threw up yesterday. I've been sick. I don't know what's going on with me. She said after the family trip, she went to Vegas with some friends on a girls trip. Girl, it's giving hangover. I'm thinking hangover because it sounded like she had just got back from her trip. So it's a hangover, girl, or you ate something bad. You ain't pregnant, and you ain't a bit more pregnant. Anyway, they start the yoni steam. Kimmy, she thinks that the rest of the ladies should have been there. Tisha she doesn't agree. She's happy nobody else is there. She thought that it was going to be a peaceful gathering between the three of them when they met up with Melody, but it turned out that Melody just wanted to talk about, mess. And Kimmy's whole thing is, girl, you got a drink thrown in your face. You had to know the next time that we saw you, we was going to talk to you about it. You got a drink thrown in your face. Tisha just would rather not. She felt like Mel was like digging, like trying to get extra information out of her, and she just wasn't trying to do that. Tisha's saying one thing, about Kiki, and Mel is, combating it with, well, what about this? Or maybe that, like basically like, don't poke holes in my version of this, of the events. Tisha don't want to talk about Kiki no more. She don't want to talk about the cheating rumors or none of that. And she felt like Mel was prying. Mel felt like, Tisha was giving her a little bit of smoke and gave her a little bit of smoke at the town hall meeting as well. And she's wondering why. Tisha says it's not even about Mel. It ain't got her attitude, her disposition, how she's been feeling, how she's been, showing up. It ain't got nothing to do with Mel. She starts to cry. She says that she's going through a lot. She's going through a lot, and she's thinking maybe she needs to go on and go back to being a stay-at-home mom. I guess the pressures are getting to her. It ain't so easy being a mover and a shaker like Mel. Like you thought you wanted that life, and I guess now she's saying not so. She would rather be at the house, not knowing what her husband out here in the streets doing, not hearing about what he out here in the streets doing. She would just rather be oblivious to it all, just at the house, barefoot and cooking. I don't know. Kimmy looking at her like, girl, what? Now, let's not take it that far. She gonna have to figure it out. She gonna have to figure out this new normal. Marceau suggests therapy, couples therapy for sure, because they ain't really having sex like that. They ain't really having no time like that. She yelling at the kids. She needs some therapy for herself, honestly. Like, yeah, couples therapy is necessary for them, but she also should go seek some therapy just for herself, because it's sounding like she is overwhelmed, overstimulated, and all of that. All of those things. She need to download all of that onto a therapist that knows what to do. Moving on. Chris, he sits with his son. He's in the office. I guess we're gonna get more scenes with Chris and the family, Nell and the kids. I don't really want to do this. I was fine with them being like friends of the show and, being at events here and there. I just don't really want to dive this deep. I don't. Because for one, it seems redundant and put on, anyway. He ain't seen the child since, and his name is Chris as well. He ain't seen Chris Jr. since dinner. Chris Jr. say he stay away. He always, when he do come around, it's always, you did this, you don't do that, you did this right, you did that wrong. And he always getting criticized, and he tired of the criticism from the family. And so that's why he stays away in the first place. Chris explains yet again why they had to take that dog. We got to go through this again. Chris Jr. is in a state of depression, honestly. We talk and talk, and that's what we get to. That's the bottom line. Chris is dealing with depression. He's gonna need to seek therapy, and he's open to counseling. He's open to therapy, but he's gonna have to go and get his mind right. He ain't sleeping. He gonna have to get it together, work it out, because he can't continue in this revolving door. Anyway, Tiffany and Lewis, they're at the house. Tiffany's folding clothes. Lewis comes in there. They have a chit chat. Of course, Tiffany has to tell us about how overwhelmed she is, and about how tired she is, and about how not ready she was for this child. And we told you it would be like this. Everybody you came in contact with that you was talking about a baby about, every time you said it, we were saying, are you sure? A baby is a lot of work. It's a full-time commitment. Your life is not going to be the same. You're not going to just be able to bounce back, run into the office, and doing whatever it is you were doing before you had the baby. It's not going to be easier once the baby gets here. You're actually bringing more stress to your life unnecessarily. And we warned you. Lewis warned you. Everybody told you so. And so, girl, we don't have no sympathy. We don't. And I get that you're going through. She even was dumb enough to believe postpartum depression wouldn't get her ass. She thought that she was so, you know, had such a sound mind that it wouldn't get her. Ain't no chemical deficiencies. Ain't none of that imbalancing in the brain. Ain't none of that for her. Girl, who you think you are? Like, what? Anyway, she dealing with all of that, and it's stressful. Lewis said, do you think that the show is worth it? Like, we on, and they done completely broke the fourth wall. We on this show, we ain't really gotta do reality TV. Is it worth it? Is being on this reality show worth all of this that you're complaining about right now? Like, we're gonna have to make a decision. The decision was made. They ain't coming back. They done. I'm assuming that was their last night filming. Because she says they film at nights. The schedule, her schedule is just the shits. I really hope y'all can't hear my stomach growling, because it is growling. Again, it's unfortunate that that they've come to this, and that it wasn't something that or should I say that they're at this hurdle. You know, it's not something that you could have foreseen. You know, I'm sure she didn't think that the baby would bring this much stress to her life and her schedule and work-life balance and all of that, but she had to take it into consideration. At least she should have. Anyway, I hope Tiffany finds herself again. I truly do. I know what that's like. For me, it was getting back to the gym. When I started to see, when my husband got me a trainer, and once I started seeing results and it became a routine for me, I started to get her back. I started to get the mojo back. When you can fit in your clothes where you want to fit in your clothes like that, that's a step in the right direction, at least for me. At least for me, it was a step in the right direction. And it was a step in the direction to feeling more like Brittany, because it's hard. It's hard. Anyway, until next time, that was it. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.